Latest news, traffic, and weather from the WPRO Seascape News Center. WEAN FM Wakefield Peacedale. With news on the hour, on the half, and when it breaks. This is the voice of Southern New England. News Talk 630 and 99.7 FM. WPRO. Providence. A Cumulus station.
The remains found at a Burrillville home have been identified. In WPRO Sports, the Red Sox and Yankees in action. WPRO's exclusive AccuWeather, mostly cloudy with a chance of a shower or thunderstorm tonight. But right now it's 80 degrees in Providence. I'm Laura Clarizio, and this is WPRO's News at 6 o'clock. The medical examiner has identified the body found in Burrillville as 60-year-old Domingo Ortiz. The discovery made Friday at 505 Douglas Pike in connection with his disappearance. It was the last place the Worcester man was seen before he vanished on May 5th. His remains discovered buried in a 4 to 5 foot grave, which was then covered with a layer of concrete several inches thick. The deck appears to be newly constructed. Police have not commented on any potential suspects. Forecasters say the Colorado River at Wharton, Texas could crest today, causing major flooding in the community 60 miles southwest of Houston. And that's not the only flood concern, as rain is predicted again this weekend in the wake of severe storms that began Memorial Day weekend and have killed 28 people. President Obama has signed a disaster declaration for some of those counties. Meantime, Obama is warning lawmakers to pass expiring provisions of the Patriot Act before the Sunday deadline. Correspondent Sunland Safardi reports.
There's no sign of a resolution yet, just one day, as you noted, before this deadline. The White House has really been ratcheting up the rhetoric on this, saying it would be irresponsible and reckless of Congress if they let these surveillance programs expire. President Obama yesterday in the Oval Office called for the Senate to act.
The president and government officials are warning of serious national security consequences, while the most ardent advocates of National Security Agency reform appear prepared to call a bluff that they see as little more than fear-mongering. The post-June 1 future remains hazy as speculation is abound. Former Maryland Governor Martin O'Malley launched his presidential campaign today with an appeal to the party's progressive base as he looks to upend the conventional wisdom that Hillary Clinton is destined to clinch the Democratic nomination. O'Malley unveiled his campaign in Baltimore, the city where he was once mayor, a role that is central to his political persona. But his Baltimore credentials could become more of a challenge than he initially thought after a riot erupted in the city in April. Virginia will be the site where former Governor Lincoln Chafee plans to announce his candidacy for the Democratic presidential nomination next week. A Chafee spokesperson has confirmed he will make the announcement Wednesday during a university speech in Arlington. And it's graduation day for some of the students at the Irish School of Technology and Trades. The little-known Rhode Island school was founded 20 years ago to preserve the craftsmanship associated with building and restoring traditional and classic boats. But President Terry Nathan says the school has evolved.
Found pretty early on that what we had of great value was an education model that could be applied to a lot of different kinds of building, whether with traditional materials or modern materials like composites. And so the school has evolved to be more of a broader-based making and building and restoring school.
The school has 3 programs, one that is 2 full academic years, the other 2 are 6 months. Today's 75 graduates are from the Boat Building and Restoration program. Coming up, WPRO Sports, your exclusive weekend AccuWeather forecast, and the Coalition here on News Talk 630 and 99.7 FM WPRO. WPRO News Time is 6:04.
Imagine a store that lets you get anything you wanted. An HD flat-screen TV, a high-capacity, ultra-quiet washer and dryer, a complete living room set. And imagine if you didn't need a lick of credit to get it. That store simply believed in you. Imagine if they even delivered it, set it up, and serviced it at no additional cost. Well, that store exists. That's Rent-A-Center. Imagine that. No credit needed, affordable payment plans, delivery, setup, and service included. Imagine new possibilities at Rent-A-Center. Rental purchase transaction. See store for details.
If you don't know where you left your wallet, but know your oil drain fan is in your garage, under your workbench, left-hand side by the filter wrenches, then CarQuest Auto Parts is for you. That's because CarQuest Auto Parts is for those who really know and care about their car. Right now at CarQuest, get 5 quarts of Valvoline Max Life High Mileage Motor Oil and a CarQuest Standard Series filter for only $23.99. CarQuest is serious auto parts.
See participating stores for details.
In WPRO Sports, the Ball Sox host Louisville, the Red Sox are on the road in Texas, and the Yankees are away in Oakland tonight. From the Seascape Yard Guard Weather Center, here's your exclusive AccuWeather forecast with meteorologist Dave Samuels.
Thanks, Laura. We'll have another warm night out there tonight. Mostly cloudy, the low near 60 degrees. You're good to
Paid program is furnished by The Coalition. It's for basic entertainment and informational purposes only and is solely responsible for its content. It does not necessarily reflect the views of Cumulus Media, its management, or its staff. News Talk 630 and 99.7 FM WPRO presents The Coalition with hosts Pat Ford and Dane Fisher. Join them now for their signature brand of smash mouth, no holds barred, no topic too controversial political talk. Join their nuanced discussions of local, state, and national politics and opinions that lie well outside the political mainstream. Now, here's Pat Ford and Dane Fisher.
And we are the Coalition, loud and proud, outrage porn free, civilly disobedient radio. On Facebook.com/The Coalition Radio, on the Mighty Mighty Twitter, Coalition_radio, our website, coalitionradio.us. We blog, we post, we stream. And of course, today we got an open line and we take calls. You can call us on the WPRO hotline at 401-438-9776, or of course at 1-800-321-WPRO if you're calling from outside the great state of Rhode Island. Joining me in studio again is my co-host and good friend, Green Party member, soon to be Libertarian, Dave Fisher. Dave, how are you this week?
Well, I haven't given up my Green Party card yet, so I'm doing okay. My body's getting used to the new gig. I'm not crashing directly after work anymore, which is a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you out there, folks, if you work in the restaurant business and you get out of it for a few years and you get back into it and you think you can jump right back into it, I got news for you. It ain't an old man's game, that's for sure.
You try to get out and they pull you back in. Is that the case?
That's kind of, it's like moths to a flame, I guess.
Rhode Island super mafia. Oh, I'm sorry, the mafia does not exist, Governor Cuomo. Oh, Governor Cuomo doesn't exist, Governor Cuomo. Anyway, it was an amazing weekend here in Rhode Island, but what's even more amazing is we are happy and proud to announce yet another sponsor added to the Coalition Radio's team of super companies, in this case, Superstar Vapors. You're going to see them live on our website at coalition.radio.us.
It's up there right now.
Absolutely. Whether you be trying to be kicking the habit or taking advantage of some of the newest, most potent yet non-intoxicating forms of cannabis as a health focus, they're the place to go to. Joining that coalition, of course, is our Halfway Tree Cafe friends over on Richmond Street in Providence. The very best Jamaican food found right outside of Jamaica. In fact, quite frankly, I've been to Jamaica, and the food is better over on Richmond Street. Great selection of beers on tap. Great. In fact, one of the things that I had the opportunity to sample just a few weeks ago was, in fact, their Bucket O' Brews special. So ask for the Bucket O' Brews and tell them the Coalition sent you. And, of course, I would be remiss if I didn't mention our longtime sponsor, Beacon Shipping and Logistics. Again, right up there on our website, on our homepage at coalitionradio.us. You know, a few weeks ago, another customer of mine, those of you who've listened to me babble on for a couple of years know that during the day I work in the automobile industry. And I had a customer of mine who had a major trade show. They've been promised. We're waiting any moment now that vehicle was going to show up and, take down 3 demonstration vehicles. Actually, interestingly enough, a company that makes hybrid subsystems for big, nasty trucks. The kind of ones that our Governor Raimondi wants to tax some more. But anyway, that'll be in a few minutes.
It's not a tax; it's a toll.
It's a tax. Right. It's a voluntary contribution. Let's just say, promises, promises, promises. That was a song and a really bad musical. But who came through at the last minute when the others failed? Beacon Shipping and Logistics got 3 vehicles down to the National Transportation Show in Indiana. This company had made a 6-figure investment in booths, and without vehicles, one could say it would be rather irrelevant and rather costly. So at the last minute, Eric and our friends there came through for them, got the job done ahead of time, under budget. Again, you got to ship vehicles. This is the time of year. Maybe the kids are coming back to college. The folks, the last vestiges of our tax evaders, our senior citizens down in Rhode Island, which in this case, wouldn't that be about 40% of the retirement workforce of the state of Rhode Island is thinking about coming back? But then again, they just heard about the tolls, so
maybe the Swallows will stay in Capistrano,
except for the 11 that somehow managed to, in a state where truly state employee retirement giveaways are just astonishing. How, as Go Local Prov, our good friends at Go Local Prov, managed to point out 11 people still managed to proverbially screw the pooch and get their pensions denied because they worked over the incredibly gracious allowance they're given so that they can triple dip or quadruple dip. Or as one lady said once to then candidate Governor Raimondi, I want to give back. How can I give back if I'm limited in how many days I can work? The notion, of course, being giving back being the dreaded V word, volunteer, never quite entered her mind. Although I must point out that a number of the people that were shut down by the state were people who were existing on $4,000 or $5,000 pensions. And so how does that work? How does,
I'll take $4,000 a month, thanks.
No, that's $4 or $5,000 a year.
Oh.
All right. So we're real tough guys in this state. We're the type that we're going to put the smackdown on the people who are making a few Jeezels a year, and yet Paulie Walnuts and his merry band can traipse across Halitosis Hall in the open verdant fields of Smith Hill and pretty much wreak havoc and have their way with the state, not unlike a 17-year-old prom date. Did I just say that? Yes, I did. Is anybody listening? Anyway, please give us a call if you're up for some argument and discussion. If you want to berate people, make fun of them. What's the mantra here at the Coalition? If we like you, we have you on the radio show. What? If we don't like you,
we make fun of you.
All right. And if we ask you questions and you don't answer them, what do?
We make up answers.
We make up answers. So, of course, this week was, I think, the penultimate for Governor Raimondi. To say that the high point of her administration has, in fact, been that magic moment where, as gentle winter winds wafted across the East Bay, and she told us we had to hunker down. And the next day, people were all over these airwaves here on this station claiming that we had found our new Messiah, our new leader out of the Promised Land, a veritable Moses, as she parted the waves of the frozen waves of the East Bay to bring us home. Was astonishing. And I mentioned at the time, and I was derided. In fact, I was made sport of, Dave, that I was, when I point out...
You and sport don't mix.
Right. When it was, I asserted that perhaps people were jumping the gun and they were being a little naive. Ever since then, and we're going to go through each painful episode today, it's just a rehash because we don't want you to forget. Every since then, every step by this governor has been an abject, miserable, uncoordinated, unprofessional failure.
But how can you say failure? I mean, what's been done?
Well, in the whole notion that a governor, okay, this is the woman who ran for governor for a year while she'd been treasurer for 3 years. So to say that she should have been intimate, between the sheets, if you will, of government finances is an understatement. In other words, she knows where the bodies are buried. She knows where the hedge funds, where the expenses go. And she should know all. So after 3 years of that, she essentially took off for a year and ran for governor. On our dime, as they say. Ran for governor and commenced the now Hillary-like listening tour to come up with ideas. And then was elected and, of course, appointed the 200-man intergalactic transition team to come up with ideas and to listen. And then we were treated at the 100-day mark with some... announcement, paralleling perhaps a Beatles reunion tour, that somehow she had managed to serve 100 days. To the extent that she served 100 days without being indicted, I guess, is probably a great moment for Rhode Islanders.
Oh, and kudos for that, the snow removal. Yay, snow removal.
Yeah, yay, snow removal.
I wish they would just call it snow-moval. Because that's all they're really doing. It's removed by the sun eventually. But.
Right. Well, again, in Rhode Island, and I think based on your roots, Dave, we employ an earth-friendly, holistic method of snow removal. We let it melt.
Right.
So, right. In place, undisturbed by nature, as it were. So then began the reign of terror, otherwise known as the first and hopefully the last administration of Ms. Gina Raimondi, Rhodes Scholar, counsel to Yale University, on the Yale Board of Directors, the Yale Corporation. Truly, I mean, I remember after her nomination.